Hey, I'm Tashi, and welcome to my home. But we're not going to be here for long because I'm about to head to Portland, Oregon for a conference. I figured I would take you guys with me because we're probably going to do some yarning things while we're there.
I love yarn. I love yarn. I love yarn. I love yarn.
So I am going to Portland, Oregon for the National Educators Rising Conference. Educators Rising is an amazing student organization to encourage young students to pursue careers in education. And I have been the advisor of my school's chapter of Educators Rising for the past 7 years. And this trip is kind of my last hurrah as an educator because I did officially resign from my teaching position so that I can pursue my small business full time. But I am so excited because I am traveling with a group of awesome girls who all qualified for the national competition, and we are excited for a fun-filled week in Portland. I have also never been to Portland, so I am super excited to just kind of see the city and experience everything that it has to offer. But of course, there are also some amazing yarn shops in Portland. And there's one specifically that I have really been wanting to visit. It's called Ritual Dyes. I have been obsessed with their hand-dyed yarn for so long, and to be that close to them and not visit, I think would just be a crime. So a lot of my girls also love to yarn. I have a couple of crocheters in my group, and so when I asked them what they wanted to do, they also wanted to visit a yarn shop while we were in Portland. So one of our stops is going to be Ritual Dyes, which is thankfully fairly close to where we're staying. And I believe they just opened their new location. So we're gonna get to see their brand new location, which I am so excited about. The other thing that I'm gonna do while I'm there is obviously I'm gonna yarn because the conference kind of runs for 3 full days while we're there. And so it's a lot of sitting around time, listening to different speakers, waiting for my kids to compete. So obviously I have to bring some projects with me to keep me entertained during the downtime while we're there. And Kevin's really gonna miss me while I'm gone, aren't you? So I figured I would show you guys the projects that I'm bringing. And then of course, I'm probably gonna buy some yarn when we're at Ritual Dyes. But unfortunately, that's not going to be until the end of the conference. So we probably won't get to make anything with the yarn I purchased in this vlog. But let me show you what I'm bringing. So first of all, I am bringing a knitting project. I started this knitting project a while back, and it's going to be a tank top eventually when I finish it, which is taking me 20 million years. But I just had a lot of other things come up that I needed to work on, and that took priority. So I haven't had a chance really to work on this for the past couple months. So since knitting takes me forever to do, I figured just bringing this along will definitely keep me busy. But of course, I also need to bring a crochet project along because you can't just knit all the time. Got to throw some crochet in there. So I am currently working on finalizing my designs for my made to fit granny stitch sweater. It's customizable, so you can make the sleeves kind of whatever length you want them to be. So I've already made a 3/4 length version. I'm currently working on a full sleeve version, and I thought it would be really cute to make either a no sleeve or a short kind of cap sleeve version. So I am bringing some yarn along to make a cap sleeve version of my made to fit granny stitch sweater as well. And so I'll show you the yarn that I'm bringing. So the main yarn of the sweater is going to be this yarn dyed by my friend Rachel. This is a DK weight yarn, and this yarn is super special because it's been sitting in my stash for a really long time. I'm just gonna say that first of all. But Rachel actually gifted me these 2 skeins of yarn when we very first met. So the first time we met, we were both vending at a local church, and I was actually wearing a shirt made out of Rachel's hand-dyed yarn. And it was the first time she'd ever seen somebody wearing her hand-dyed yarn. And so she started tearing up when we first met, and we just became super fast friends. And then we kind of went into business together, and I started having her dye exclusive yarns for my yarn lover boxes, which I put out every month. So it's been a really beautiful journey, but this yarn was kind of the start of that journey together. And so I've been waiting to do something special with it. Like, it's been sitting in my stash waiting to become something beautiful, and I think it's gonna look so cute as my made to fit granny stitch kind of sweater t-shirt style. And then I also had this yarn sitting in my stash. This is Christie's yarn. They were out of Edmond, Oklahoma, but unfortunately she did decide to close her doors and go out of business. And I don't think she's even dyeing yarn anymore, because I reached out seeing if I could get some skeins of hand-dyed yarn from her, and I never heard back, unfortunately. So I have one skein that I got when it was on sale, and it pairs perfectly with Rachel's yarn. I think it's gonna look so cool. It's kind of giving me like bumblebee vibes, but I love the yellow. So I'm going to use this colorway as kind of the accent colors around the collar, the sleeves, and then I'll probably add some ribbing on the bottom as well. So that's kind of my plan. I'm heading up to my yarn shop soon, so I'm gonna take this yarn with me and get it caked up while I'm at my yarn shop so that it is ready to travel to Portland, Oregon. And we actually set out first thing tomorrow morning, so I will probably catch up with you guys when we're in Portland. Well, we have officially made it to Portland, and I was so productive while we were on the airplane. I am now worried that I did not bring enough yarn. So I got an entire panel done for my granny stitch sweater pattern that I'm making out of Rachel's yarn. So yes, front panel is officially done. And then because I finished that so fast, I finished this on our first flight, and there was still like another hour of the flight to go. Like, this only took me about an hour. I was like, okay, maybe I need to start working on like my knitting, because that takes a lot longer. But I was so locked in that I got pretty dang far. I think I was only about like this far when I started. So I almost doubled my progress, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, and I did not bring the other skein for this project. So if I finish my yarn, then I'm out of luck till I get home. But it does take a long time for me to knit. So I feel pretty confident that I won't finish, but I got a lot done, which I guess is a good thing. So we're about to head to the pool, hence why I'm in my swimsuit. And we ordered some food, which is on its way. And yeah, that's your update. I will probably honestly catch up with you guys again once we go visit the yarn shop. Well, hello friends. It is time for a wee little update because it is officially our last full day in Portland, which means we're going to the yarn store today, and I'm so excited. And it's actually so cute because my students are really excited too. I gave them the option. I was like, does anybody actually want to go to the yarn store? Because I was gonna go by myself if no one wanted to go, and they were all like, yeah, we want to go. So that's gonna be so much fun. I'm really pumped, and we have a lot of other fun things on the agenda today. We're gonna go hit up Voodoo Donuts this morning because some of the girls wanted to try that, and then we're going to Powell's City of Books, which is supposed to be just like a massive bookstore, and I love reading, so super excited to see that. And then we are heading to from my understanding, it's kind of like an interactive art museum exhibit thing. It's called Hopscotch Portland. So I don't know, when I was just kind of doing research, it looked fun and it seemed like something my girls would really like. So I got us tickets for there, and then after that, we're heading to the yarn shop. But as far as yarning goes, I have gotten quite a bit accomplished on this trip because, like I said earlier, there's just been a lot of sitting around while my girls are competing and attending the conference, and as we're sitting listening to speakers and stuff. So I guess I'll start with my knitting. I am getting so far on my knitting. Like, look at how far I am. It is almost time actually for me to start the decreases to do the what's this called, like the shoulder portion, so the shoulder decreases for the straps, because I'm making a tank top. So yeah, definitely getting excited about how this is working up, and I'm still just obsessed with the fabric. I think it's so pretty. So feeling really good about that, and I think I've already figured out how to do the decreases. I had to watch a couple of YouTube videos and I recorded them just in case I need a refresher on the plane ride, but that's the progress on that one. And then the progress on the shirt. Here she is. So last night I was able to get one of the sleeves, finished for the most part. I want to put like a ribbing around the sleeves, and I'm going to use like the solid yellow to do ribbing around the sleeves, ribbing around the bottom, and then a detail around the collar here. So I'm just starting to build out the sleeve on the other side, and then yeah, we'll just basically have the finishing touches to put on this. I'm really happy with how fast it's working up. And I did make it a size smaller than what I typically wear, so this is probably more like a small medium. I mean, I can still squeeze into it, but it's definitely not like a fit that's super comfortable for me. So if I get it done, I'll maybe try to show it to you guys or put it on my mannequin and have her model it for you. But that is the progress thus far on our projects and kind of the plan for the rest of today. And then tomorrow we travel home. And we do have kind of a long travel day. We have like the award ceremony for the competitions in the morning that the girls competed in. And then we head right to the airport to travel home. So yeah, I think that's all of the updates for now, but I will definitely keep you posted. And I'm so excited to take you along with us on all of our adventures today. Well, hello there. I am officially back from Portland, deeply exhausted because we got back at like midnight last night, and I just finished a meeting with some of my students, and I have another one coming up in just like 30 minutes. And then once I'm done with those, I'm gonna take a nap because I am so tired. But my heart is so full, the trip was amazing, and I gotta show you guys what I got. So first of all, let's start with the projects. I did officially finish the sweater shirt situation. I haven't tried it on yet because like I said, I made it a little bit smaller than what I would normally wear, so I think it's gonna be pretty snug on me. But I do like how it turned out. I think the ribbing on the cap sleeves was definitely the move, and as you can tell, I do still have to snip all of my ends, so maybe we'll do a little snipping montage here at the end of the video, and then I'll show you what she looks like either on me or on my mannequin. But I was excited to finish that. It came together so fast. That's the one thing I love about this pattern. It's just all granny clusters, and so it works up really quickly. And then my knitting, I did get quite far on. I did not run out of yarn. I still have quite a bit of yarn left, so that was good. But I made quite substantial progress on the knitted top, and I actually even started doing the decreases for the shoulders, so that's very exciting. I am getting close to the end of panel 1, and then I'll just have to do the second panel. So yes, very happy with my progress on this. And then of course we went shopping, and so I have to show you all of the things that I got. So first of all, we went to Powell's bookstore, which if you've never heard of Powell's, it is a massive bookstore. Like seriously, probably the biggest bookstore I have ever seen in my life. It takes up an entire city block, and it has multiple levels. It was so awesome. There were like new books interspersed with used books at a more discounted price. So you could find some great deals if you were willing to kind of like dig around. And I found some fun things, and I seriously, I could have spent the entire day just getting lost in that bookshop because I love books and I love reading. But of course I was with a bunch of teenagers, so we were only there for an hour, and so I literally only had time to really peruse one section. And of course I chose to peruse the crochet section, and I did find a couple of really good books. So first of all, I bought this really cute tote to hold my books, and I thought it would make an amazing project bag because it also has a little zipper pocket in it. So that is definitely going to become a project bag for me. As a matter of fact, I think I'm just gonna put my knitting in here. It has officially become my knitting bag, although it is pretty big for a knitting bag. I might need to put my knitting in a smaller bag, but for now, we'll call that good. And then I found a couple of awesome books. First up, I found this McCall's Crochet Treasury. So it is a vintage crochet book, and it has 150 ideas for the best crochet ever with full illustrations. And I was just kind of paging through it, and I saw some really cute stuff. I mean, like, look at this lace cardigan, and there's just so many really cute vintage patterns. I love a good vintage pattern, so I am very excited about this book. And it was $12 for that guy. And then I found a couple of really cool books. One is Knit It Yourself, and one is Crochet It Yourself. And these are both by Emma Wright. And so they each contain 15 modern kind of sweater patterns. So this is the knit one and some of the stuff that's in there. And then here's the crochet one and some of the stuff that's in there. And for those of you that follow me, you already know this, but if you're new here, I mainly make wearables. So that's why I picked up both of these books, because I really liked all of the stuff that I saw in them, and I'm excited to try more knitted stuff. So that's why I got the knitting book. And these were both on sale for, this one was $15, and then the crochet one was $16. And then one of my sweet students actually ended up getting me a postcard at Powell's as well, because Starry Night is kind of like my thing. My family loves getting me Starry Night themed things when they find them. I love it. So that made me really happy. And it's got like a little Sasquatch Yeti guy on it. So cute. So that's what I got at Powell's. And then we did go to some thrift stores and I found a couple of really fun finds at the thrift stores, clothing wise. But then of course, the big excursion that I was the most excited for, been saving my pennies for, is we got to go visit Ritual Dyes. And it was just everything that I had dreamed of. It was such a beautiful space. I'm so excited for them to be in their new space. And I just had the best time looking around. My students really liked it too. One of them bought some yarn there. But of course, I am like way more into this scene than they are. So they actually ditched me and went and shopped around the area while I stayed in the yarn store. I was probably in there for like a solid half hour at least. And that was me rushing myself. But here's everything I got, and I will kind of show it to you individually and tell you my plan for it. So we'll start with these two guys. I got this colorway, which is called Tie, and it is in their maiden yarn, which is a 2-ply fingering weight yarn. It's 90% merino wool, 10% nylon, 400 yards, and I got 2 of them. So I really love this colorway, and my plan for this is I want to make a really loosely knitted poncho. That is my plan for these 2 skeins of yarn. And then I got 3 skeins of their green tourmaline yarn. It's the same fingering weight yarn. And then I got 2 skeins to go with it of their desert sunflower, also in fingering weight. So don't those just pair so beautifully together? I absolutely love it and think it's so stunning. So my plan for this batch is I'm actually going to use it to design my next pattern, which I already have kind of up here in my head, but it's going to be kind of like a loose crocheted sweater vest. It's going to be a little bit airy, and I definitely think I got more yarn than I needed, but I was like, I'd rather have more than not have enough. Worst case scenario, I'll have some leftovers that I can use for another project, was kind of my thought. And that was everything. That was our trip. It was so much fun. So much fun. I think Portland is such a cool city, and we just lucked out. We had the most beautiful weather while we were there. And I love that even when it's kind of like hot there, it doesn't feel super hot because it's not overly humid, which was really nice. And there are just so many cool things to see and do in Portland. And the mountains that surround Portland are just stunning. But yes, that was my trip to Portland. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me on this journey. It was really fun to take you along with me and kind of show you the sights. And I will see you next time for another crafting adventure.